Oh, welcome to Magi Monday, where today we are talking about the artist card, the Three of Spades. My name is Andrea Blythe. I'm the traveling Magi of Let Love Rise. And today's guest, I am thrilled to introduce you to a Three of Spades who is the person who is responsible for bringing this beautiful system of the Magi Card Science System into my awareness. She gave me my first reading back in 2020. Three of Spades, Vicky Fisk, welcome to today's episode.
Thank you so much, Andrea. It's a pleasure. Thank you
I,
for reaching out. It'll be
yeah, of
fun.
course. Of course. It's
I love talking cards.
Yes, it's infectious. And I remember back in 2020, we have a mutual friend who saw me on the onset of my divorce. And I guess we're
Mm.
actually, I want to dive into the story of how we met first, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the energy specifically of this Three of Spades. But here I was at like a total crossroads in my life, completely not understanding what was happening for me. I know it's happening for me now. And this dear friend said, well, I have this woman in my life who can read your cards. And of course, I thought it was like tarot or something like that. And then dun da da da, enter Vicky into my life. And you gave me the reading that just changed everything. Just changed
Mm,
everything. And
nice.
so I want to thank you for that. And we will talk a little bit about your journey to the cards or how the cards found you. And because I know that you have been using this system for quite some time in your life. But let's start off with the Three of Spades, shall we? All right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the threes, just to give a little background, first of all, welcome to Magi Monday. If you are brand new for the course of the zodiac year 2025, 2026, I've been bringing you every week a an episode that encapsulates to the best of my ability and the person who I'm interviewing the energy, the soul essence of this card. So threes and the spades. That is what we're decoding here today. Let's start with the spade. The spade is all about our work and our health, our doing of life, our will of life. It is the north. It is the culmination. You can also think about spades as being like as we walk through our lives, hearts, clubs, diamonds, spades. It is definitely a wisdom bearing suit. And threes definitely represent creativity. There's worry, there can be indecision. But if I were to ask you, Vicky, if in one word, and I know that this is a challenge, but if in one word you would describe the soul essence of a three of spades, what would you say?
Well, this is a really fun question because I mean I have all kinds of words that I could use for it, but I thought, okay, I'm going to ask someone who I'm very close to, my beloved boyfriend, and who is an ex-husband also from 20 years ago.
What? I
And
love
we
this.
we reunited a year and a half ago, and I told him that you had asked me to come on the show, and I said, in one word, how would you describe me?
Oh, that is bold. Okay, what did he say?
And he doesn't really, I've never done a reading for him, but he knows I do a lot of readings.
Yeah.
And the one word that he used was indecisive. And
Oh,
I just rolled. I just rolled and laughed. And I thought, oh, you couldn't have nailed it better. That's how well he knows me,
oh my
right?
goodness. Indecisive. Yes, that is a signature. I think of all threes. And your birthday, you're the Gemini
Yeah.
three of spades, making you a double three, am
Nine.
I right?
No, three of spades, nine of hearts.
Oh, three of spades, nine of hearts.
Because my Mercury card is the nine of hearts.
I
And
went the opposite. I went Cancer birthday and thinking moon.
eh,
Okay. So three of spades, nine of hearts. Very interesting. To learn more about the nine of hearts, there is a video. This is actually it is one of the cards that you helped me understand my soul purpose in life because it is my Pluto card for life, that nine of hearts. And it was one of the
mm,
divorce cards, or it is known traditionally as the divorce card. Way more complex than that, I understand now. But that was one of the things that you told me in that very first reading. You
yeah,
showed that I had the nine and the five of hearts as my Pluto and result card for the
for
year I
that
was
year.
heading into.
Yeah. there's no getting out of some of those
No.
energetic influences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert, I did get divorced that year. And that's part of why this reading was so impactful, just how it just spoke to the what was possible. But I remember that you framed it in such a way that you said, like, just because you have something like a nine of hearts, an ending, a completion in love card challenging you this year, and the five of hearts, that change in love that are traditionally the divorce cards, even though those are in your roadmap, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to lead down that path. And I think that's really wise of a reader to understand that there are multiple ways that something can play out. And
Mhm.
you gave me that little crack of hope that maybe
Yeah.
there's a chance. But
Yeah.
no, it was
Yeah.
clear. It was clear that I was headed towards a divorce, and I'm grateful for it at this point. But okay, so indecisive. Indecisive is what the word that he would use to best describe you. And your response was
I just
accurate.
started laughing because, I mean, that is so appropriate. And the thing about being a Gemini three of spades is I don't know if you have the book Sacred Symbols of the Ancients
Yeah, and
by
five
Edith
bucks
Randall.
right here. There we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
So, in there's six birthdays or so
Yes.
of, and the Gemini, the first word is the most indecisive three of the deck. But more than that, I always like to look at the cards with their nicknames, and it's the artist card,
Yeah.
right? And so it'll come when you ask me about how I found this whole system. But the main thing about being a Gemini, and my rising sign's Gemini, so I'm
Oh,
a double
oh
Gemini, which
wow.
is a big
Okay. Yeah.
double whammy of Mercury energy.
Mm.
And you can't pin me down. You cannot pin me down. I love fluidity. I love it, and Gemini's a mutable sign.
Yeah.
So I have such a huge variety of interests that it's hard for me in a day to fulfill all the things I'm interested in one day, let
Oh,
alone a month, let alone a life, let alone.
right. Right.
And so I just like adventure. I call most of my endeavors an adventure because very rarely do I finish anything. And that's another trait of the
Okay. Of three of spades or of a Gemini?
of three of
Or both.
spades.
And so the completion of a task, but that idea, I like that framing of all the things that you're doing as an adventure. Does that help you stay? Because they say indecision and worry is really the lower sides of not just the three of spades, but all threes have that
Yes.
instability, that worry, that indecisiveness. And then all threes also have this creative passion. And so that's what you're saying, all the ideas that you have, all the things that you have, if you look at them as an adventure rather than like a checklist of what I have to do, does that help with that? Or is it more about just like allowing yourself to go from one thing to the next to the next to the next? Is that what you would say that three does?
Yes, but I like to characterize it after I've been working with the system for over 20 years and really finding my truth in
Yeah.
my nature. Our birth card is our nature. We come in
Mhm.
with this. And so making friends with that is really, really important. It's been very important for me to accept my nature and work with it and try to get on the high side of that. So for me, it's about expression.
Yes.
Self-expression is really important to threes.
Okay.
And
Self-expression is really important to threes. Okay.
yes, and once I've lived it enough and also counseled enough people on it, if you allow yourself to express the emotions, the thoughts, the deeds, the actions, whatever it is in your life that you're worrying and doubting, if you
Mm,
allow yourself expression, Don't make a decision, just go express what's going on.
Ooh, okay. Where's
And
that?
then it alleviates the worry and doubt because you're in action. You're not up here trying to. So that's been my
Yeah,
solution.
yeah, I've read that a lot. The action, like that, how important it is to be in action as a three person, and that speaks to that.
Mhm.
So when you're talking about coming to peace with your essence, this three of spades essence, what are some of the tools that you have found along the way? Or can you give us an example of what does that expression or what can it look like? I know there's not one way and that is all, but
Mhm.
like it is the life's work to understand who we came here to be. And
Right,
sometimes there's, not sometimes, almost all the times, all these cards have a high side and a low side.
right,
And
right,
shadow self and karma. I know these are the karma cards of
right.
big financial money cards, but
Big,
also encoding with creativity. But
right.
what would you say to another three of spades person who is listening to this and might be struggling with understanding, well, I want to say like what the fuck they're doing here on this earth,
Right,
like
right. Well, first of all, they need to understand that they have a nature of wanting a
mm,
variety. It's hard to pinpoint threes to nail
okay.
them down, in my experience.
Yeah.
And I'm a good expression of the three of spades, and I know several three of spades. And so I was thinking about this last night. It's like, what do we all have in common?
Yes. Because the planetary birth card can
It can
differentiate.
be very
Yeah.
different.
Okay.
I just happen to have myself and two other three of spades in my family circle.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yes,
Ah.
my brother-in-law from my first marriage and my kid's dad, he's a three of spades June 1st.
Okay.
And then through marriage, my daughter married, her husband's mom is a three of spades.
Oh, interesting.
And we are all super, super creative people,
Yeah.
but in ways that you would never tie, well, especially her, you would never tie that to creativity. However,
Mm.
if you want me to give you an example, I
Yeah, please.
can. Um, I'm an artist with a spatial, 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 like
Hmm.
the space.
Okay.
I do that through gardening. I
Ooh.
use I create places on earth that are very spatial but also special
Yeah.
to people. I had a gardening business, and so that's my palette, right?
I
I'm
love
not a
that.
painter,
Okay,
I'm not
yes.
a singer, I'm not an actor, although I have said that next life I want to come back as an actress or a singer because I'm really good at it, but I don't, you know.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, he is a beautiful custom cabinet and woodworker. He
Okay.
creates the most beautiful wood structures.
Mm.
And my mother-in-law through marriage, she was creative having 10 children.
Oh, oh, whoa. Yeah.
That that
Talk about
was
like creatrix, right?
huge,
Wow.
but that was her passion. And
Yeah.
I have to say that all three of us, three of spades especially, are very promiscuous cards.
Okay. Do go on there. All right.
Very sexually promiscuous.
And what speaks to that? Is that just encoded in the three of spades, or can you? Because I know as a card reader, you have a greater understanding of the life path of a three of spades. Is there a particular card? Is it the nine of hearts and Mercury? Is it?
It's the three,
It's the
it's
three
the three
itself.
because
Okay.
I know two Taurus, three of spades.
Uh-huh.
Um, and oh my gosh, very, very promiscuous women. And
Interesting.
it's taken all of us a very long time to make peace with that because
Mm,
that can bring a lot of aches, heartache, pain to a person's life
okay.
because they can never settle on one person,
Yeah, and that I mean I
right?
definitely see that in the Three of Hearts for sure card,
Oh
but
yeah,
you
big
feel
time.
it also as a spade energy. It's
I
that same
do.
like I can't just nail down like this is the one person, the
Well,
one
you try
job.
to. You try to.
Mm.
I mean, I've had three, four marriages. So
Okay.
I have loved very deeply with that Nine of Hearts card. I've
Mm.
loved very deeply, but they just don't have longevity because of me just being so interested in other things, other people, other places, other lifestyles, you name it.
Wow. Wow. And so part of coming to peace with that, and I really love how the Magi system, I look at it as there's the first 44 years of life, and then
Oh yeah.
there are the wisdom years when scientifically the way that the system quadrates it repeats upon itself
Yes.
on the 45th quadration. Slight differences, your card being one of them, a semi-fixed card, but it's really those wisdom years is to coming to peace and that coming to peace with how you're designed to be and that
Yeah.
we all are designed differently. And so you said that self-expression, even in relationship or also in relationship, that self,
Super important. Super
yeah.
important in relationships. And that's part of the problem of why I've gone through three husbands and circled back to an ex. He totally gets me and
Oh,
he lets me roll. He
oh,
gets me. And that is such a breath of fresh air because he knows what he's gotten back into, but we're completely different.
right. You said
With
20
age,
years
20
later.
years, we're completely, well, we're not completely, but we were
Yeah.
much less egocentric,
Okay.
which was very problematic we got together in our young 40s. And so we have a lot of more life under our belt. And
Mhm.
so we come to the table with a much deeper understanding of who we are first and foremost,
That's beautiful.
right? So it's not about trying to, we're not codependent
Yes, or
anymore.
trying to fit into somebody else's norm of like what you think that they want or what you're supposed to be, which is a young mindset
Absolutely.
towards relationship.
So, well, yeah, so I feel seen, heard, accepted for who I am.
Wow.
Because we all know that when you go into a relationship of any kind,
Hmm.
if you're going in, the red flags are all back here because you've ignored them, but you think you can change this
Yeah.
behavior or that mood or that uh big big red flag you better look at quickly
And you better
because
look at yourself, right? Like what you're
yeah,
doing in that situation, what you're hoping for. And that's yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So a radical self-acceptance first and foremost
Well,
is something, and
I would
then the other
yes.
person confirming and allowing you to be fully who you are.
Yes, and I would probably say self-awareness first before the self-acceptance because if you're
Mm,
not
yes.
aware of your triggers and what sets them off, acutely aware of them, and do the work to dismantle that hair trigger, right? I mean,
Hmm.
it's our job.
Yeah.
It's not anybody else's job. They'll point out
Oh, yeah.
all the time,
And
but
relationships are particularly good at that, is being like, here's a mirror.
yeah, yeah. So it's about being aware of what your triggers are and why
Mm.
a certain thing or behavior or word sets you off so quickly.
And so is that's part of what you have been learning throughout your life is that self-expression. Does that come into helping you through that? Like if you notice that you're being triggered by a certain, like you just said, like a word or an action, something is triggering something inside of you. How does one work through that? Or how does a three of spades, particularly if we're talking about three of spades people here? What are avenues that could be
Mm.
helpful to anybody? And we are talking about the three of spades, but really any three, what would be something that you would recommend somebody who's becoming aware, maybe not accepting yet, but aware of like,
Uh-huh.
ooh, I do this. I have been doing this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Mhm. I think probably for me personally, and some of that I've witnessed with other threes of spades, is first of all, stop running away from what the issue is. Because it's
Mhm.
easy to just go down that other path. You know, threes are like the walking down the path and there's a fork in the road and you want to go in both directions or
Yeah.
more than one. So there's always an exit,
Oh,
okay?
okay.
When things get tough,
Hmm.
stop running away if you want something of solidity and peace, peace
Hmm.
inside
Hmm.
is stop running away from it. And for me, it's watch what I say. I'm very powerful with my words, and
Hmm.
I'm working on that right now. Tact and attitude and the way I
Hmm.
deliver my words is my
Hmm.
big issue. And it's
Wow.
probably true for most people,
Right,
but
right. Yeah, yeah.
for me, that's what I'm working on as a three of spades to I can be brutally honest, and sometimes that is harmful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So it has a lot to do with the intention behind and how, yeah, right.
Delivery, your
Honesty,
delivery. Like
delivery.
to be an actor, you know,
Oh,
an actor as an artist, it's like you gotta get your delivery down. You know, like a comedian's got to get their
yeah.
delivery.
Yes, the timing,
What
the
I'm working.
Okay, okay, that's fascinating. Now you also said that your boyfriend slash ex-husband, which I just love, how life evolves and works, that he accepts you fully. Now, for people that are watching this, not everybody watching this is a three of spades person, obviously. They might have a three of spades person in their life who they love. And what would you recommend for the people who are doing their best to love? Or perhaps raise a three of spades child.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that parenting, understanding the essence, the soul essence that you're parenting and raising is really where this system has helped me tremendously understanding my own children, none of whom are a three of spades, but just
Right.
understanding how can someone truly love and support a three of spades that they love and want to support.
That's a really good question. And of course, I can only really reflect on my growing
Yeah.
up and how
Yeah.
my parents reacted to me. Like my neighbor who was always at our house. I mean, she was practically my second mom. She used to call me Lucy of the Peanuts,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
With the
I never
football.
really, but I get that. I get that, right? Because I was a loudmouth. I mean, I never wanted to be edited, you know, but you
Mm,
have to be edited as a kid because you get yourself into trouble with,
yeah.
I didn't throw tantrums, but I was very forceful with what I wanted. And I think the best thing that could have, and my parents were good at it, is give me the room to pursue something that they can see I'm already passionate about
Oh,
rather
give.
than trying to steer them into what the parents want for the kid. Because
Mm.
I think that I got sat down so much and got lectured by my dad, and it was nausea. It was just ad nauseum, you know.
Mm.
But if he could have just taken me out and done some activity with me to
Okay.
show me the difference between my actions and then what could have resulted if my actions were different and more kind, or
Yeah.
I helping a kid find a result to get that big energy. Threes are usually big energy. And if they're tamped down, that's
Don't.
not.
Gotcha. Right. 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 Because that's part of that creative expression. There is a self-expression.
Yes.
And that creativity, as you've already alluded to, can take form in many, many different areas. So
Yeah.
also for like a grown-up relationship, if you have a friend who's a three of spades, would you say it's the same thing? Like, for example, you mentioned your love and your passion for gardening, and I love that
Mhm.
as a spade, like literally, I've got my spade over there that goes into the earth. Would you say
Exactly.
that that's the same thing? Is like give me my space to play in my creativity and allow me to pursue my passion? Or
Oh, absolutely.
is there even
Absolutely. I
more?
mean, my mom, I don't know whether she intuited this about me or what, but she taught me at a very early age to garden. I helped
Oh,
her plant seeds. I helped her learn how to do the cold frame in the spring to get everything going. And we sat and looked at seed catalog, all that.
oh wow.
She got me interested in that in the very early part of my life. I mean, I'm the only kid I know that at 12 years old, I had a little grow light in my bedroom with African violets and shit underneath it. It's like,
I love that.
what?
I
I
love
mean, everybody else was, like doing much
Barbies
different.
or whatever.
Yeah. But so that became my life.
Mm,
Still is a huge part of my life. And I had a business for 25 years, Nature's Nest Landscape and Gardening Company
mm.
here in Boise, where that's what I did. I helped create really fun, artistic, beautiful color, whatever they wanted, I did it.
Wow.
And that was my self-expression. But,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Okay. So just knowing that a huge part of any three, but today specifically three of spades, giving them space for the self-expression, understanding that there is encoded within this soul essence indecision.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
perhaps, just a desire to not have one solution and instead look at the many to it. Now, I'd
Mhm,
like to just shift because I don't think
mhm,
I ever knew how the cards found you or you found the cards and how the cards have helped you throughout your life. You said that for over 20 years you have been studying and using this system to guide
mhm,
you into radical, what I would call self-acceptance. And I think
mhm,
that that's like such a beautiful aspiration for all of us to grow into just understanding who
mhm.
we are and stop the comparison or the
Right,
thinking. And that's what truly that
right.
first reading that you gave me, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this is part of my soul essence, you know?
yeah,
It's really
yes,
powerful. So how did you
yes.
find the cards or how did they find you?
2004, 2005, I was hanging around with a group of people, and one of them was a PhD psychologist. His name's Dr. Dean Allen. He lived in Burley, but he spent a lot of time in Boise. We did lots of psychic fairs and going on. We went to
Hmm.
Bozeman, Montana, to the fairs and stuff. And I was a sidekick for a while. We went and did those things, never a love intimate thing. But he said, and I was kind of at the end of 45, I was at the end of kind of
Mm,
my landscape business. And he goes, "You're going to kill yourself. You keep doing this. Come down to Burley. I'm going to set you up with some information because you've got to find a new place for you
mm,
yeah." And he got out all these different systems, all these books, and he goes, "Now, this one is one that I would love to incorporate into my psychology practice, but I don't have time to master this. I'm busy already with." He set me down. I looked at Path of Peaceful Warrior,
mm.
Enneagram, and that.
Oh, look at that. Look at
And
that.
I read, he had the Destiny card book, and I looked up my cards, and I knew I'd already done this before. I
Yeah.
recognize the language. I recognize the numerical values. I recognize the symbols. And so the rest is history. I went and to Santa Fe, 2 trips to Santa Fe, and did the learning with Robert Camp,
Hmm.
and went through the Fellowship of the Magi, and we did a whole year of astrological training, and you know haven't turned back. I've been doing
Yeah.
readings. ever
Please,
since.
it's fascinating, and again, I'll never forget that reading because it made sense to me as well. As
Yes,
soon as you started speaking, I was like, "Whoa!" And I think it does go perhaps for those of us that found this system are really called to it. It's because we
yes.
have been carriers of this in secrecy, perhaps in previous lifetimes, and this is
Oh,
really a
yeah.
lifetime where we get to share it more openly and let people see that we do have this guidance system and it's encoded in such a way that it's really, for me, so tangible, so
Very.
easy to comprehend the numerology, the symbology, and the astrology is where it gets really awesome. I love,
Right,
reading
right.
soul connections and just understanding how energy can work between two people when all of that guidance, it's all encoded within here. And then as a three of spades person in your life path, you have a hugely spiritual path with double nines and double sevens. So
Yep.
do you think that
Yeah.
that influences, like, did you always feel drawn to spiritual, mystical endeavors,
Well,
or
it's
did it
all,
come then?
my life path is in the Saturn line. So
Yeah,
there's a boatload of karma I came in here to dispel
yeah.
and work through. And I'm very, very aware of a lot of that with my six of diamonds
First
first
farm.
karma
Yeah.
card.
Can you speak a
Lots.
little bit to that? Because I do think that that's pretty powerful to understand what what your karma, like your big,
Well, yeah. First of all, my mom was a two of diamonds, six of diamonds. So
okay.
I also, and my dad, yeah. So, uh,
Your mom was your first karma card then.
yeah.
Okay.
And so there's a big history there. But the six of diamonds for me, I'm one of those six of diamonds, and I've done lots of readings for six of diamonds people, and
Hmm.
they're either on the very low side of it or the
Yeah.
very high side of it. And they take huge responsibility in not being in debt.
Yeah.
And on the low side, they don't give a shit about finances. They'll spend every dime and go into debt, no problem, and
Whoa.
never climb out. I know lots of those, but most six of diamonds, I'm acutely aware of every dime I have, where it
Mm.
came from, what it's
Mm.
designated for. I keep little stashes of money for this bill, for that, or for this future thing. Or, I mean, I just manage money acutely. And I've had three incredible opportunities in my life to manage other people's huge amounts of money, which I had complete access to. I could have taken them to the cleaners.
Mm. But the karma of the
Oh,
six.
yeah. Yeah. And so I managed hundreds of thousands of dollars for two or three different people in my life. And I knew these are my karmic debts to these people
Oh.
to manage not my money, but they entrusted me to manage all of theirs. One was a huge estate. Another was my sister. She went to live in an ashram for 12 years in Fiji. And not only did I take care of all her thousands of dollars a month, but her boyfriend who sold a house and he gave me his checkbook and I needed to pay his ex-wife
Oh, wow.
$10,000 a month for
Oh,
a
wow.
year. So I had access to all this
All this
money. But I really am very, very fiscally responsible. And that's
huge. And that's part of that. That is that six of diamonds first karma card brings that
absolutely,
responsibility financially. Gotcha.
absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I learned about money when I was pretty young. We had to work for our
Yeah.
allowance and stuff, but that didn't kick in until I was an adult
Yeah.
and when I really had to manage my own
Right.
finances.
Totally different story. Yes. Yes. And then
Raised three kids by myself. All of that is takes a
the
village.
number of threes that you said in that too, three kids and at least three financial
Yeah,
accounts. Well,
yeah.
I've got to say,
Yeah.
Vicky, it has been so delightful to have the opportunity to sit down with you, to one, thank you and express my gratitude for giving me such a powerful reading back in 2020 when everything was just at the cusp of falling
Mm,
apart, and how these cards have been with me throughout my healing journey and help and my journey of self-discovery. And for that, I am forever thankful to you and to, of course, Robert Lee Camp, my teacher currently, and for all the wisdom that has been published throughout the years.
yes,
And it's my true hope that episodes like this can help serve the greater community to understand that we are not alone here. There is guidance, and it just is a matter of seeking it sometimes. And
absolutely.
before we wrap
Mhm.
up here, is there any way for people to get a hold of you or hear about what you have upcoming? Perhaps there's some gardening projects or on the horizon for you, Vicky?
We were doing podcasts and we just canceled our podcast forum that we were using, and we're getting ready to create a YouTube channel of our own, and it's called Down and Dirty with
I love it. Down and dirty. That is so good.
with Idaho Bo and Vivacious Vic. That was the name of our podcast, and we're going to keep it the same because
Okay.
we've got a Telegram channel, we've got a Facebook page, Down and Dirty, and funny
Down
enough,
and
some
dirty.
porn sites come up.
Well, I would think and
But
speaking, what
no,
did you say about promiscuity embedded in the three of spades?
yeah, but we are very, very, very interested in helping people become sovereign. And the only way to do that is take matters daily routine habits into your own hands and start paying attention to how to protect whatever assets you have
Yeah.
and create living assets, which is in the garden, out in nature.
Oh, I love
Get
that.
out in nature
Yes.
and how to grow some food. Learn how to
Ooh.
notice the changes that are going on around us daily
Yes.
outside.
Yes.
So
I mean,
that's what our podcast is all about. Is
okay, so we can look for it
well,
coming in
started,
2026 to
yeah,
YouTube, changing
yeah,
platform, down and dirty. Also on Instagram, Facebook. Is that what you said?
both.
Telegram. I love
Not
that.
Telegram, but
Uh,
Insta and Facebook. We
Okay.
have pages on those.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And the
Wonderful.
cards, I do readings every week. So my email is how people get in touch with me. I have business cards and stuff, and
Yeah.
I do have a Facebook page called Love Your Destiny, which is all about the cards,
Oh,
but I hardly ever do anything on there.
yeah. Well, you've got
It's got the basics.
too
It's
many
got the
other
basics.
adventures. Too many other adventures.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you very
wonderful.
much for
Yes, it is.
passing on.
It has been a joy to have you on. So the one and only Vicky Fisk, everybody can thank this woman for introducing me to these cards,
Yay.
and let's all
Yes.
pay it forward. Here's
There you
to,
go, dear. Thank you.
yeah, here's to love and joy in the journey. Ciao for now.